Welcome to 4th&20Sports, episode 41. We are back, we are live, and it is your boy, AJ Johnson, your favorite host. And over to the right, the one, the only,
Max Todd, still with that favorite host thing. That's kind of hysterical.
Listen, man, giving the people what they want.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. It's been a fun week of sports, man. I'm looking forward to it. Still working on killing that dad bod, but been trying to be good, trying to eat quinoa and stuff.
What? I've never gotten used to the thought of quinoa. I feel like I've had it one time maybe, like once. And forgive me or not, I don't recall there being like any flavor. Like it just tasted like
it's like flavored like disappointment in self and bitter. No, honestly, there are a lot of good stuff to do, especially if you put unhealthy stuff with it. I mean, it's kind of like kale. Like kale used to be the stuff that lined the buffet. I didn't eat it. But then now you gotta try and make better of yourself. Really, like it's funny. Is like I have a lot of friends that have moved on to do things in the fitness world, and they'll always post these like selfies of like, why do you work out? And I'm like, because I'm running from the fear of my awful body.
And is that how you hit your personal best?
Yeah. Hey, new record today. So we're gonna keep on going for more. I actually was on the elliptical and I hit 10 miles or whatever elliptical miles are and in 50 minutes today, and I got off of it and a person was standing behind me and they were just like, what are you running from?
Yeah.
And I was just like, my life. I'm trying to fight. You don't see the demons. But that might just be me. Who knows?
I get it. I mean, well, all right. So you don't ever think of it as what could you be running to, like possibly?
Yeah. No, I don't know. The future is very, very foggy.
That must be a New York thing.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Well, anyways, let's jump.
Well, you know why we're always mad is the light at the end of the tunnel is New Jersey.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard that.
All our New Jersey.
I've had to come in from Jersey, so I understand. And it's not really bright in Jersey either, if it makes you feel better. No. Nothing about it. Jersey single-handedly ruined IHOP for me. IHOP was one of my favorite places to go. I went to Jersey, never going to go back. We don't have to get into the details because it's quite scary.
You're going to have to fly into Newark if you're going to New York.
I'll LaGuardia it if possible. Alrighty, well, let's get into it. We got a nice episode for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about Championship Sunday. Woo, we're all excited about what happened then.
Yeah.
For the people who can actually see me now, yeah, that was sarcasm. We're going to talk about what happened in that Patriots-Jacksonville game. We're going to talk about what happened in that Minnesota Vikings locker room that brought them on the field looking like that. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl matchup that everybody's been anticipating since day one of the football season. Oh, yeah. Hands for sarcasm. And, of course, last night the NBA All-Stars were revealed, so we are going to get into that, talk about who's there and who's not. That should be 4th&20 Sports here in WBLZ Sports. Max, let's do it. Championship Sunday. You remember last week how excited we were, all the talk we had about it, all the speculation we brought to the table, for none of it to really go how we thought it was going to go, or to be honest, half of the world thought it was going to go.
No, we're definitely on the darkest timeline. Two of my least favorite fan bases are now going to be representing the Super Bowl, and it sucks because as a Giants fan, I mean, I guess I don't really have beef with the Patriots because, they never beat us in the Super Bowl. But I do seriously hate the Philadelphia fan base and the Eagles. It's just what I'm about. It's just who's been a part of my life. It's ingrained in me. So, unfortunately, I'm in it for the commercials. I can't wait. Dilly dilly. I'm hoping to see something funny come around with that. What about you, man? You got a dog in this one?
Well, I would have been there for the commercials, but now apparently the NFL's banning a commercial by the veterans, and people aren't all about that. So, no, I don't have a dog in this one because, I mean, it's going to be the Eagles. I'll let you know now. I'm going to go against the Patriots, more than likely. And it's not that I hate. It's just that I don't like. That's just how I feel about it. They're not. I'm just over it. I want something new. tired of seeing the same repeat episode year after year. It has nothing to do with what happened to my Falcons last year. It just has to do with these Patriots. No, it doesn't. Shut up. I don't like you. Well, so how did this happen, though? Because, like, I'm pretty sure when I was watching this Jacksonville game, yes, I said it, I felt that they were in control. I felt like they were going to take this to the top and they were going to be representing the AFC. What happened?
Well, when you think about it, too, the craziest part about it is they did everything they wanted to do. Well, Blake Bortles didn't throw an interception. Their run game, although not as good as it usually is, did well. They went down and they took a lead, and they had a 10-point lead into the fourth quarter. No Gronkowski on the other side. You think that defense is going to put it up, but it always seems when the Patriots want it most. And we talked about this last week. I made a point to say that this is really going to be a week where you see penalties called on the Jags. And although it was kind of a penalty-free game for a while, when it mattered most,
they got those flags.
What was it, 45 yards on a 60-yard drive that led to the touchdown? It was something ridiculous. And frankly, I don't think that Bouye pass interference was a pass interference. As like the whole homage of like let them play the game, they should have let that one roll through. I don't really see why that was called, but also something was more perfect than like the celebrating ref with the Patriots. It just kind of made sense. And I'm not really one for conspiracy theories. I really don't think that this was some kind of rigging by the NFL. I mean, the NFL hates the Patriots. Let's be real. I mean,
Goodell hates the Patriots.
Roger Goodell, yeah. But eventually all the owners are going to go, stop it, Robert Kraft. I feel that they're getting tired of it. Him getting to sit there. I mean, well, considering how before Tom Brady, really, the Patriots were just kind of never there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady's got their Super Bowls.
Did you see when they handed Belichick the AFC Championship trophy? And he's like, they literally put it in his hands. He's like, okay. And literally less than a second that he held that trophy, he's like, oh, take that. Don't need it.
He doesn't care about that. It's like telling him, hey, dude, you just won the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we do here.
That'd be like getting excited because you're like, oh, man, I woke up today. Whoa.
I'm still breathing. Must be a Patriot. Nah, you're right. And then the other thing that came to fruition, and this was what I was like, this was my darkest timeline. If Blake Bortles has the ball in his hand to win the game, probably just not going to get done. And I'll be the first to tell you, Blake Bortles played a pretty good game. Won't say great because he didn't get it done, but he played a pretty good game. Didn't make many mistakes. He was finding receivers. They slowed the game down for him. He was making passes 7-8 yards up and down the field. Couple overthrows in primetime moments, and sitting on the couch.
I remember saying during the game, I was like, "Oh wow, look, he's taking a complete page out of Alex Smith's playbook." I didn't mean for him to take all the pages out of it, because then you lose.
Wow,
that's the ending page of the Alex Smith timeline. Is and we're going home. Hope you enjoy the Pro Bowl, except you won't be there, Blake, because you're still Blake Bortles. You can watch it though. I mean, hey, maybe the bars in Jacksonville will allow you back in them.
Oh, dude, he's probably one of the happiest people in Jacksonville right now, except for the part without him going to the Super Bowl. You can go to whatever bar he wants right now. They haven't been to the playoffs in forever. They went to the AFC Championship. I think they're okay with Bortles. Now, come off season, they're going to be screaming for a new QB. Somebody to take over for them.
All the Blake Bortles haters are coming right back out. Like, they were quiet there for a couple of weeks when
even the game sealing play basically on defense by Stephon Gilmore. Honestly, yes, Stephon Gilmore made a great play, but I don't think it was that great of a pass. It was a decent pass. It was in the area.
He throws it a little further and gives him a chance to run after the ball as opposed to play back on the ball.
Or even catch it in the air like he did and fell down. Like we watched it all game. He wasn't hitting receivers in stride. There was multiple touchdowns that were let go because the receiver couldn't run after the ball. They had to stop and adjust and come back into contact.
Because we can be real about it. I mean, as good as a cover corners as Gilmore and Butler are, they are not faster than D.B. Westbrook.
Yeah, Cole himself was in the center of the field all day.
And they didn't do enough swing routes. I can't explain.
They went away from them.
Yeah, they went away from it. It worked all throughout the playoffs for every team because, honestly, you put man coverage of a linebacker against the running back, more likely than not, the linebackers of Van Noy of the Patriots is not faster than Leonard Fournette.
Not at all. And if so, he's probably going to put a body on him anyways. The other one that got me, and I remember alluding to this to you watching the game, was especially after watching what Nick Foles did to the Eagles, especially after having a game against the Bills in which you ran more than you threw. You had more rush yards than pass yards. Like, why didn't he pull down the ball and run a couple times in the third and fourth quarter? Why aren't there run RPOs in this offense after watching any tape? If you had an aspiration to go to the Super Bowl, and I know you're thinking about it one game at a time, so you're watching a lot of Patriots, you can't tell me you were asinine to the rest of the playoffs going on. You had to see what made Nick Foles a quarterback that's kind of, in most cases, in the level of Blake Bortles right now. You had to see what made him sit back there.
I know Chris Sims thinks he's better.
He sat back there and was comfortable in those 2 games and looks like a stud. You were having a pretty good game yourself. To have the wherewithal to pull the ball down and take a 7-8 yard run to the right for another first down and then go back to what you know, might have saved you a couple wins. We knew what they were doing. Run the ball, 2 yards. Guess what? Let's run the ball one more time. Third down, 6. Oh, that's manageable. Play action pass.
And to be fair, some of this is I felt that Doug Marrone felt pressure from upstairs a little bit. I feel like Tom Coughlin was calling down and being like, you should probably just run it. And because that's a very Tom Coughlin move. Tom Coughlin has always been a part of having a team where the offense is run 2 times and hopefully you're close enough that you can do a check down route for a first. And if it's second and 15, you should probably still run it. I watched it happen for years in New York. But Doug Marrone also has always felt very much so like a puppet. I feel like he doesn't really know what he's doing down there. I never really liked him as a head coach. I mean, he was a coordinator in Buffalo, right? He wasn't, but I don't. He just has never really impressed me. I never thought like the offense in Buffalo was that good. So I feel that there is a lot missing there. I felt the Jags definitely let this get away. But again, I get that it's Tom Brady, but that defense was still one of the best defenses in the league this year, if not the best pass defense. And it really did come down to shifty receivers breaking down. Like Telvin Smith, as great of a game he looked to have, he got shook a bunch of times. And it's not so much that you guys stopped him from gaining more than 5 yards after a carry, but you let them get the 5 yards. And one of the biggest things in the world that they had to do was special teams. The 30-yard return to set up that short field position for the Patriots to take the lead, that was huge. And the fact that they didn't come ready to play on that one, it showed how young they were. Now to say that this team has a lot of promise in the future, I'm looking forward to watching the Jags. I never thought I'd say that. But, this goes back. This is a better team than they ever had when Brunell was throwing, than Byron Leftwich was throwing, David Garrard. We have an opportunity to see a team actually young and build in Jacksonville. They, frankly, overachieved this year.
I'm interested to see where they go in the draft next year, what they should look for in free agency, and what they do to possibly help that team, because I don't honestly think they're that far away. I mean, you want to say they didn't have any of the pieces, not you personally, but they didn't have any of their top-notch receivers and blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is the receivers they were left with were pretty damn good going forward. So, I mean, they have weapons.
Well, and they've always picked good wide receivers, not great. I mean, Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, these guys are good, not great. D.D. Westbrook has the potential to be great one day, maybe. But you never really know how good someone is until they get the ball thrown to them. And if they can't get Odell Beckham at LSU, no one really had him above Sammy Watkins. Well, guess what? Zach Mettenberger couldn't throw the ball very well, and that's why Odell Beckham wasn't getting the ball. Jarvis Landry the same. Two of those guys clearly would have gone before some of these wide receivers that went out. Maybe not Mike Evans, but definitely Kelvin Benjamin, definitely Sammy Watkins. I mean, these guys are two of the best receivers since that draft has happened, and they went way further down the line.
That's fair. Well, either way, New England prevailed once again, and they are headed to Super Bowl 52 to face the winner of the NFC champion, as we all know, the underdogs, Philadelphia Eagles, in a rout, 38-7.
Yeah.
Minnesota comes in and drops 7 on them. Easy work. Minnesota defense stops Philadelphia's offense. Easy work. I want to say 3 and out, 4 and out, one of the two. And then Case Keenum throws a pick six, and literally from that moment on, the Eagles never looked back, and you could feel it. Like, the rest of this game, there was not a part where I'm looking around and I'm like, the Eagles better be careful. Philadelphia may come back and steal this one. Like, that never got put in my brain. Like, Max, what do you think? What do you think happened to this defense? Why do we need an APB out for them all of a sudden?
It was more so that these guys know one type of offense, not how to cover three. And the run-pass option is clearly a very new concept to Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's an old-school coach, and he definitely runs that defense. He ran it in Cincinnati for a while, and he runs it very well. He's got great talent around it, but he doesn't know the scheme for it. He doesn't know how to maybe play three safeties. You've got great linebackers for an NFL 4 or 5 years ago. Well, it's not 4 or 5 years ago. It's now, where it's a much more gimmicky game, and there's a lot more going on. Hell, one of the big plays was a flea flicker they weren't prepared for. And to see Nelson Aguilar finally break out this year was nice. Happy for that guy. Alshon Jeffrey kind of really wasn't a big part of this game. No. But they also were kind of injured during this game. Like, they didn't come in 100%. I feel like if they had been in this, had the 2-week period that there is between the championship and the Super Bowl, they would have had a whole different defense out there. I also feel that they came in overconfident. And one thing I find odd, even though the Patriots were immune to it, when you lose a coordinator that's already going to take a head coaching job, it feels like something happens in that locker room. And I don't know what happened in that locker room. I feel like they were planning on how to go and play the Patriots. I feel like that was their game plan. Was like that's what they were doing. They were talking about what to do against them. And they didn't even consider losing to the Eagles. And they got blown out. Wow. And sometimes you can tell that shift in momentum, if you're not ready to break it, then it could be the end. Like, the Patriots could have given up when Myles Jack did that strip on the reverse.
Which should have been a touchdown, by the way, but,
Right.
Either way.
But then they fought back. They stopped Blake Bortles because at the end of the day, Bill Belichick knew you can stop Blake Bortles.
Well, what I think happened for Minnesota was that they just ran into an offense that has now proven that it should be successful with just about anybody back behind center. Nick Foles looked confident. He looked like he could do no wrong. And he had the rest of the offense believe in the same exact thing. Doug Peterson's a wizard. Like, what he's been able to do this season, like the way they've been beating teams, and yes, they've had their goes at it. They've had some hard times, some hard-fought battles. But when they beat a team, a lot of times they're beating them handedly. And I mean, so you watch them against the Falcons, and it's 7-8 yards down the field, all the way down the field, run game, touchdown, bounce out the tackles, touchdown, things of that nature. You gave Nick Foles his legs, you gave him his confidence, and I mean his legs of confidence underneath him. Comes into this game, and you start doing the same thing, and now the Vikings think they have your number, and he starts throwing it down the field. And he's hitting everybody. Torrey Smith in the corner. Torrey Smith might have had 2 touchdowns had he not dropped the one that he gave him the first time. Alshon Jeffrey actually had 2 touchdowns in this game himself. Nelson Aguilar went wild. He was finding everybody. And it's because Peterson made him comfortable and confident within this offense. Within this offense, he has, I think it's 600 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions this postseason. Those are some good numbers for 2 games.
I mean, and it's not like Nick Foles hasn't been a successful quarterback. He kind of had Jeff Fisher destroy his confidence, and he never was able to really recover. And I thought he was going to hold a clipboard, and I bet so did he until Carson Wentz got injured, and then the fear of coming in really hit him. But what comes down to it, though, and I think that we're overhyping the offense on this, is that pass rush is proven. If it's going up against a suspect line, which the Vikings were missing their starting center, they had to shuffle around the week before. If that offensive line is suspect, that defensive line is ready to attack. And if they can get in the backfield, and if they can get at the quarterback, like they did to Case Keenum, causing that pick six, it lights the fire underneath that offense. And a run game. If one line performs, the other line feels it has to. And I'm pretty sure Jason Peters has been there. I know that Lane Johnson is there. You have bookends of one of the best lines out there, and you have Jason Kelsey still. Like, it is a great line that they can run behind. And now we're going to see Chris Long and LeGarrette Blount back again in the Super Bowl 1 year later on a different team. Yeah. I remember when they signed with the Eagles, I was like,
interesting.
That's not going to be a Super Bowl, but look at you now.
But see, Chris Long said that, though. He's like, I watched what those guys did last year, and I knew that was going to be something special. And if the Patriots couldn't give me what I needed, and I had the opportunity to go somewhere like that, that was a line that I wanted to be a part of. He recognized what was happening in Philly. He knew they were just a couple pieces away from being a success story, and he thought, why not be a part of that piece? So here they are. And ironic enough, I do believe this Super Bowl will be won in the trenches on line after line, and it's going to come down to that. So 4th and 20 Sports, moving right along. Let's talk Super Bowl 52. I'm not going to ask you for your pick yet. I think we can do our picks next week.
Yeah, I feel so.
But out of your feels today, let's go. What's the darkest timeline? First off, winning. Who in the darkest timeline wins this game?
For me, the Eagles. If the Eagles win, it's my darkest timeline.
How does that happen?
The way it happens is a pass rush that completely makes that not only clogs the middle with their nose tackle breaking through, but then when he looks to his left, that's where the edge rush is. Because the thing with their corners is they aren't great cover corners, but they're very opportunistic.
The Eagles?
They are great at attacking the ball. They are not great at running with people. When it comes down to it, Ronald Darby, he likes to cut routes off. He doesn't like to defend routes. And it's nice that he can jump in front of the ball, but as many times as I've seen him jump a ball and make a great play, I've seen him blow a play because of his aggressiveness. I feel that it was a very beneficial trade for them because Jordan Matthews clearly was easily replaced by Nelson Aguilar. But when it comes to the Eagles, I feel that you pound the ball, and you hope that Tom Brady makes mistakes by getting to him quickly. And they were able to do that. The thing is, they've gone up against a few great game managers, but not the greatest game manager. And the fact of the matter is, Tom Brady out there is considered the GOAT. And you're going to have to prove to me that you can beat him.
I echo those sentiments in most places. I think it's going to come down a lot more to these linebackers getting in the backfield after Fletcher Cox and Derek Barnett opens up the gaps for you. I think if they can get in the backfield much like they were doing with Case Keenum, if Fletcher Cox can prove to be the problem he's been all season long, it's gonna be hard for them to do a lot because and the thing is when you're able to get that pressure early. Your corners know where they can be at, and they can jump these screens that they like to do. They can step in front of these, Burkhead right over the top end, and Danny Amendola coming on the regular wide receiver screen, things of that nature. The things that they like to abuse for almost a full quarter, I think will be hard to come by if this pass rush gets off the way it normally
does. Martellus Bennett get a Super Bowl ring if they win?
Yeah, I mean he's on the team. He's on the team, just on IR.
That's awesome. And I agree with you. I mean, they have, when it comes to the screen game, it's more so, I think, the safety play. The linebackers, I feel that if the edge rush is there, sending a guy up the middle to help the nose tackle is a huge play. Because if they have some great speed rush to make sure that Brady steps up, but if Brady's stepping into his center and you can't step into his throw, that's huge. So look out for these screen plays. But I feel that if Jenkins knows how to just attack the ball right away, that's the biggest benefit they're going to have. Malcolm Jenkins is a very smart safety.
Yeah.
He's probably the best safety they've had since Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, I mean, he plays all over that defense. There's not a position he doesn't know the
he's the most valuable person on that team on defense. The pass rush is fine, but, if the ball still gets out, even rushed, and it gets to a receiver, well, then it didn't matter how quick they were because the ball came out quicker. The secondary's ability to have faith in that defensive line is the reason why they get to be so aggressive. But I fear that for the Eagles, is they might psych themselves out. They might. And they might take back. They might stop attacking like they need to. And that's something they really need to consider but again, Jim Schwartz is one of the best D coordinators. I'm glad that he didn't take a job as a head coach, mainly because he wasn't a good one.
I think it's coming down. I expect to see him gone next season.
To who? Every job is taken.
I mean, as of now, every single year.
Who's getting fired now?
Who knows? Who knows?
Ridiculous.
Not at all.
You're
telling me there's going to be no coaching jobs at the end of next season?
At the end of this season?
No, I'm talking.
Next
year.
year. Yeah,
yes,
of course. That there'll be coaching positions available, obviously. I thought you were saying at the end of after the Super Bowl.
No,
what are you talking about?
No.
That's not
in a year.
Like,
that was
already,
so weird to me.
Yeah, it was already weird that the Titans had to lose They were pretty much out of all of it. They had to take Mike Vrabel, a Patriot.
Speaking of the Patriots, before we get to break, what do the Patriots need to do to slow down this defense, to slow down this pass rush, to secure a win that they don't have to come back for in the fourth quarter?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of their MO. There's very rarely a blowout win by the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That doesn't happen quite often. I mean, for the most part, it's always either come back or win by a field goal. Don't put it on Gostkowski. It's not Vinatieri.
I put it on Gostkowski.
I mean, he's not a bad kicker. He's just not Captain Clutch. I think, though, I think they should start getting a little cute. Honestly, I think it was really cool to see them do trick plays that they had to do, though. They realized that all of a sudden that this is not a defense that you can attack with a playbook that's conventional. They went at them they used everything Josh McDaniels had, and hopefully there isn't that weird shift. This is why I think Bill Belichick is truly a great coach. It's because they know that both of those coordinators aren't going to be there next year. And because both coordinators aren't going to be there next year, that could have sent people like, hey, but I'm going to come with you. And hey, I'm going to go with you. But Bill Belichick has such a tight rein on that locker room that I don't think anyone has that fear about losing those coordinators because they don't care. Right. Josh McDaniels has left before, and he drafted Tebow. There is no doubt. And the defensive coordinator wears a pencil with his dry erase board. Yeah. It's not anything I fear, and I feel that that's how great Bill Belichick is as a coach, and I think that we can have confidence that he'll be able to maintain.
Touché. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, the only thing that I really believe is this defense is going to have to step up. I have no worries about the offense of the Patriots getting the job done. But, I mean, if it comes down to Stephon Gilmore having to make one big play again or Malcolm Butler having to make a game-winning interception again, I don't see you being in that position at this point in time. I think it would be more so that they need to find a way to stop them on third down. Nick Foles went 0 for 1, and then he went 10 for 10. 10 for 11
and he completed a crazy amount of completions in a row to end the game.
Yeah. So I think this offense is, I don't know what Peterson drinks in the morning to wake up and really get the juices flowing, but whatever it is, keep doing it because your offense is looking really good, and it didn't matter who was in there.
And for Doug, I would say don't take any advice from Andy Reid from now on. He can get you this far, but he can't finish it off.
Yeah, Patriots defense is gonna have to step up. Gonna have to play one of the better games that they've ever played. And I mean, if you hear them say it, that's the Patriot way, though. So they're prepared to do it. We just got to see what comes to fruition.
Philadelphia.
We'll make our picks next week. Those are the keys we believe the Patriots and the Eagles are going to need to get some W's. But other than that, they play it on the field. We can only talk and speculate as much as we want. 4th&20Sports, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back after a message from our sponsors here on WBLZ Sports, where we've got balls.
Just kidding, though, for all of you watching right now. We are not going to be taking a break. We are going to continue rolling on through because that's what we do for the live viewers. Very happy that you guys stuck around, all of you. But
you know they're going to see this.
Yeah. But we're really excited to be here. We're hoping to have a few more opportunities, maybe another sponsor or two coming up. We really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. And just keep up the likes, keep up the subscribers, keep sharing our videos, keep sharing our page. We really appreciate all of you guys out there.
We're on YouTube now, so you can also go check out any video you missed there. on our YouTube at 4th&20Sports.
Always here on the WBLZ page and on our page and SoundCloud if you want to listen.
Alrighty. And we're going to get back to the recording. Once again, thank you guys out there. 3, 2, 4th&20Sports. Back here in WBLZ Sports where we've got balls. Thank you all for tuning in out there on the SoundCloud, the Apple Podcast app, as well as iTunes. Speaking of iTunes, WBLZ now has the Vault on iTunes. That is where you can go and check out any past episode of any of our wonderful programs here in WBLZ Sports. Proud to be a part of it. So if you ever need to check out anything you can't find 4th&20 Sports on iTunes, which would be weird because it's at 4th&20 Sports on iTunes, you can go check out that WBLZ Vault where we will be, as well as some other wonderful, great programs. Max, it's bruh time. Bruh. I'm excited because, as you know, as you found that I've told you, and we started this going on a year ago, I'm a big basketball fan. And I'm excited because, with football gone, what else is there to really watch? I mean, hockey I'll tune in on the playoffs, but other than that, basketball is where it's at for me. And so I've been watching a lot more basketball than I've had the time to watch in the previous months. And I think my level of excitement is diminishing. The level of some of the play that I'm seeing in the NBA right now is making me kind of sad. Specifically, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Bruh.
Now, let me be clear. I am not a Cleveland Cavalier fan. I don't hate them. I don't have issues with them. But I'm not a fan. I'm not gung-ho Cleveland. But when you have the greatest player in the world on your team, you come to expect a level of certainty and success. You come to expect a level of accomplishment. You come to expect a level of leadership that is shown through the guys around you. The guys that you call, quote-unquote, your guys. I was watching the Cleveland Cavaliers play the San Antonio Spurs last night. And I have never seen... I think an AAU team, if they had the guys that were tall enough, could beat this team. Right? They don't want to play basketball. And maybe not even just with each other. I don't think they want to play basketball. If you watch my preview, I was a little bit wrong in saying that they would end with the number 1 seed come at the end of the season. I don't think that's going to happen. There's a lot of basketball to be played, but I might be recanting on that situation. But if you see what I see right now, and not what you believed in the preseason, there's no way. I'm watching guys just stand and all turn in. It looked like they were watching guys shoot free throws in the middle of gameplay. The chemistry's off. Nobody likes each other. I watched Kevin Love battle for a rebound and fall on the ground, and Jay Crowder looked down, stepped over him, grabbed the ball to throw it in. DeJounte Murray of the other team picked up Kevin Love right in front of Jay Crowder. Bruh. There's got to be something done. I mean, I don't know if you want to do trades. I don't know if there needs to be a Tyronn Lue held team meeting, because a team meeting just be like, hey, Love, if you're sick, just sit you behind on the bench and be quiet. Don't get up and leave the game. Ain't none of us was about that. That's not the life. That's not how. That does nothing. And then to step over, if you fix the problem, don't bring it out on the court. He literally stepped over this man.
Is a shot at Ty Lue.
Stepped over this man.
He gave him the AI to Ty Lue.
Bruh. The Cavs need to get it together. I don't fear. As long as they're in the playoffs, they have as best a chance as anybody in the East. But looking like this, why would I believe that? Why would I believe that?
Well,
Bruh.
I had my rebuttal to your preview about how I didn't really like the Cavs that much. But that's not even why we're here, because it was a momentous night last night for them. And no, I'm not talking about the offer that J.R. Smith put up in 28 minutes.
Bruh.
No. Congratulations, LeBron James. You broke 30,000 points and you were the youngest player to do it. Good for you.
Props out, boy.
And that nice little Instagram post you posted of your high school picture. Never planned to be here. I'm just grateful, and I hope that you can. And he wrote a note to himself. This post was a letter to himself about how you need to take a moment and appreciate all that you've done. because you've accomplished so much and that you need to understand what you're doing. He should have hashtagged that super humble. Because I can't believe it. That's like me posting on my Facebook status of like, yo, check it out. I work out a lot. I didn't know I could do it. Like, yeah, you did. You're doing it. And then in the post-game conference, bruh, when they come up to you and they talk to you about it, they're just like, isn't this great? To then go on a long, long rant. I mean, bruh, so long about, I've won Rookie of the Year. I've been an All-Star, all of the MVPs, all my championships. I know I just can't wait for one day to be drinking some wine, hanging with my friends and family, and telling them about how great it was. Bro, you just told us how great it was. Like, I don't believe that you don't appreciate that. And, like, I get it. Maybe you're still in your head about why don't people like me as much as Jordan? I don't know. I can't really say it. But why don't you go cry on Dwayne Wade's shoulder? I think my favorite part about that was, like, how was the hug with Dwayne Wade? He's like, that's my dude. Dude, I don't know. They're going to, like, elope one day, and it's going to be like some Grace Frankie stuff on Netflix. Like, he's like, all of a sudden, they're just going to, like...
If D-Wade leaves Gabrielle Union for LeBron James, the world's over. Like, bro, like, that was what the Mayans predicted calendar day. Like, no. Bro.
I would love that E special. I think it would go great. It'd probably air on Bravo, too. I think it would be hysterical. I would love it.
Hashtag banana boat love.
Yes. Oh, bruh. Man. Bruh.
I hear you, but I gotta say, like, I get it. I understand the post. I understand the Instagram post to yourself. Not many people will ever understand or have that level of accomplishment at all to do something and really sit back and go, this is crazy. I didn't think that was a thing. Because, like you said, that's not what I ever really intended to do. I just came to win and be the best. I mean, that should have went hand in hand with it. But it wasn't what he intended to do. And to sit back and be like, well, it's going to happen tonight because I missed it last night when I got blown out by the Thunder by like 30 points. I got 7 to go. I don't think I'm not going to hit it.
I didn't have any doubt he was going to hit it.
Right. But see, he's just like, I think it's time to appreciate it. Like, it was a little much to do it in the third person, but I mean, that was a moment with himself where he really got to sit down and sit back.
And I get it was in San Antonio, but thanking Spurs Nation and then talking about your love affair for Greg Popovich. Bruh.
Check this out, though. What if LeBron signs with San Antonio?
Well, I was actually going to go into that. I think that would be the smartest thing for LeBron to do.
Crazy amazing.
I think it would be one way to help them. I think he could be some kind of like vocal leader that could get Kawhi Leonard to feel a little bit more comfortable. Because you can tell the Spurs want him to be more of the role. And I get it, they have a lot of quiet guys and that's been their thing. But you kind of need someone to have a voice in that locker room. And Kawhi Leonard's clearly not really vibing with the team right now based off of what they want with the rehab. But I think if you bring in LeBron and Murray becomes the point guard that you need and he can develop, you're sitting pretty. I mean, it's still the Spurs. You still got Greg Popovich. The only fear that I have is the classic LeBron thing where he gets what he wants and it's still not good enough. And I don't know. It might kill Greg Popovich to have someone go, no, we're going to do this. I think that I just think that LeBron needs to figure out how to be a little bit more humble. It's hard to humble yourself when everyone tells you you're the greatest. But he should have that guy standing behind him just to whisper into his ear at every press conference saying, you're just a man. You're just a man. Maybe it could help him, but I don't know. And there's so many things that are possible to happen. I mean, they've struck out on 2 point guards so far this season with the Cavs, and LeBron's not. I
don't know. I wouldn't say struck out on IT. He's still coming back and think of what Isaiah Thomas came back to. The level of asinineness, or whatever you want to say, that's going on with that organization right now. To finally be able to play basketball, something you've only wanted to do since you found out you were being traded and you were hurt in the playoffs and so on and so forth. To have to come back to a team that doesn't want to play, How do you get a turnover from LeBron James and he, the 5'9" point guard, is the only one running down the court? Yes, he's the youngest, but still,
he's got a bad hip,
and he's the only one running down the court for a fast break bucket. Like, this is a transition game that LeBron James teams are praised for, and nobody's running on transition. Like, well, I don't know if they struck out, but it's just they have to.
He clearly doesn't mesh with them. And that's what I'm getting from it. And I get it. Some people like you out there, Chad, you might be saying that LeBron won't sign somewhere where he'll be the number 2. I think gladly, you'll see LeBron be number 1 as Kawhi Leonard goes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because Kawhi Leonard just wants to play great defense and be a team player. LeBron James wants to control the game. And I think I think that the Spurs could actually have a point forward that would really mesh into a new system that Greg Popovich is kind of trying to find a way. He's trying to make LaMarcus Aldridge more of a primary thing after kind of not liking him last year. But the high pick and roll in the game, I don't think anyone would run that pick and roll better than LeBron James with LaMarcus. Yeah, Murray's nice, but then LeBron can be spelled to be the scoring, whether it be the forward, whether it be the guard. I mean, he plays whatever positions. It
would be one of the first times he could, not kind of like his first 3 years in the league in Cleveland, but where he's not going to be given the keys to the Jeep. He's not going to go. You think Papa is like, all right, LeBron, what should we do? He's like, hell no, LeBron. Listen, this is the system that you came to play for. This is how we're going to do it. If you don't like it, I have no problem resting my starters.
See, a Greg Popovich car, I like to imagine, is a very sturdy wood-paneled station wagon. It's not the prettiest, but you can't find me something more reliable still on the road. And I think it might not be as flashy as LeBron wants to work with, but it'll work, and it'll get him to the one place that he wants, and the championship. And I think if it's really about championships for LeBron as opposed to just continuing the brand that is LeBron, I think that he should figure out a way to get to a team like that. It'd be hysterical if he went to the Celtics.
Oh my God. I would have a field day. I don't even know how I could control myself and how that would go down. You thought she was going to get away from me? Kyrie! Here I am in your nightmares, boy.
But it is unfortunate, too, because here comes to the real thing with the Cavs. Either you make a package deal where you get Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan with Isaiah Thomas, Tristan Thompson, and that pick, and you can somehow convince the Clippers that that's a safe trade, because that's something that would be interesting to see. I mean, LeBron James loves throwing alley-oops, and if you can get Lou Williams, someone who can actually do what J.R. Smith won't, which is score, and then you have Isaiah, and then you get Isaiah Thomas out of there who wants to run his game. He dribbles too much in a LeBron James system. In LeBron James' system, he wants it to pass, then give me back the ball. I'll dribble a few times and maybe take a shot that most people shouldn't take.
Sounds much like Allen Iverson.
I mean, yeah, and it got him 0 championships, but a lot of success.
A lot of success.
I love AI.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Just wanted to make sure.
He's the one that stepped over Ty Lue. Maybe he could step over him for the coaching job.
I don't know how that would work.
Well, then
you can't have a team that's not going to practice.
So, okay, well then another theory would be Dan Gilbert going up to LeBron and being like, look, man, you didn't want to commit to me. That's why Kyrie got traded. Now, if you wanted to commit to me, he'd still be here and he would have had to deal with his contract. Where do you want to be? Because I don't think you're going to stay here. Where would you waive your no trade clause? Because that's what I think I need to do for the best of this organization. This city lost billions of dollars, it felt like, when LeBron left. So, who would you like to go to? And it's clearly going to be the Houston Rockets, and it would take a 5-team deal just to get all the assets right.
But I don't think he would do it.
I don't think so either. I don't think he
wants to make Dan Gilbert look like the good guy.
Exactly.
I don't think he would do anything to make Dan Gilbert feel like he got some success out of this.
But if Dan Gilbert can even get that report out there, he would have saved a little bit of face. A little bit of face, and he's not really good at that. And I'm not rooting for Dan Gilbert at all. I mean, he's like the James Dolan of Cleveland.
That's the other thing too, though. Like, if you even go to the point to trade LeBron, like, I mean, who are you? The people you bring in are going to have to be people you believe can sign a contract that'll keep them there, and somebody that's going to believe in the future of the class. Because if you think LeBron's gone, it's almost an immediate overhaul. because you allowed LeBron to bring in the guys he wanted who are on their way out at the same time now. Right. Basically. I mean, you're not investing your future in Jay Crowder. And I want to admit, because I know how you think I feel about Jay Crowder, I always said he fit very well in the Celtics system and what he was able to do for that team.
So well that the Celtics are doing just fine.
It's I mean, I'd trade Kyrie for Jay Crowder any day, but you can tell the difference. A little more than that. What? A little bit. You're Bryce. You're being Bryce, bro. Petty all day. 4th and 20 Sports. This conversation on LeBron, the most valuable drama queen, or as some may have called him.
I'm right there with Tom. No one's more dramatic than him. I mean, if they had Oscars in the NBA, he'd be up for it every year. But even with how the Oscars are,
that conversation has come to a head. So we can pick up on the new one. The All-Star rosters have been announced. We are ready for All-Star Los Angeles 2018. Lonzo Ball heading up. Not much. Nothing at all. Didn't LeVar say he was going to be an All-Star?
Who cares what that guy says? He can go watch his sons be All-Stars in Lithuania.
Which will probably happen.
I mean, I don't know. I don't watch Lithuanian basketball.
Oh my God, you should totally tune in. It is turning up.
I feel like
mid-season stripes is ridiculous.
I feel like I play good enough defense. I could be out there.
I should go to Lithuania. Started you.
Yeah, you got ankle and shoulder and body.
Anyways, hey, I will also ride the bench because Lithuania money is probably really, really good in the transfer currency. I'll probably be rich over here.
It's not Bitcoin.
Anyways, the All-Star rosters have been announced. As you know, last week, the West starters, Curry, Harden, Durant, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. The East starters are Kyrie, DeMar, LeBron, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. Most of those all deserving. Then the reserves came out. And of course, there are people who feel a little slighted. So just in case people don't know, the way they do this, the reserves is 7 people, 2 guards, 3 front court guys, and 2 wild cards, basically, are your criteria. So in the West, in the reserves, Russell Westbrook, who should have been a starter, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard are your guards. In the front court, you got Draymond Green, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Karl Anthony Towns on the West. In the East, your guards, you got Victor Oladipo, Kyle Lowry, John Wall, and Bradley Beal. And for your front court, you got Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, and Kevin Love. Most of these guys, I'm right there with. I feel like good idea, good job. Good call on the All-Stars. There's a few that I think they could have switched out for some of the snubs. But, Max, I'm going to let you take head on this. Give me some of the snubs, some of the guys you think definitely belong here, and why, or, whatever your heart feels like speaking about.
I mean, Andre Drummond's a beast, and he should be there before Kevin Love gets to. I don't think, and I get that Kevin Love, before Isaiah Thomas showed up, was having a pretty solid at number 2 role, but now they're trying to incorporate Isaiah Thomas, and it's really easy to have them have faith in you when guys like Shumpert and J.R. Smith don't know how to hit shots. I mean, they're just not doing anything. And so Andre Drummond, though, is really one of the only reasons that the Pistons can even be considered relevant at times. And I think he is one of my favorite parts of the NBA because it's nice to see a big man. It really is. I think that
an old school, real deal.
Without it sucks. And I get that. Like, now Victor Oladipo has kind of fallen off a little bit from his hot start, but it's just interesting to me to see him up there when the year that Ben Simmons is having. I get it. He's a rookie, and they don't like to do that. He'll be there, but I think
absolutely, TC. We all know who won that.
but I just think that we're missing out on a player like Ben Simmons. I mean, Bradley Beal, John Wall, they're great. It's hard, though, for me to agree on 2 people from the same backcourt making it when you're leaving someone out like Kemba Walker, who's like put a whole team on his back, and it's pretty heavy with Dwight Howard and like all those contracts that are just weighing him down.
Now, see, for me though, I get the Ben Simmons. I'm okay with. Like, he's having a great season, and by the way he's playing now, he will more than likely be there next year. But unless you're having a LeBron James type rookie year, unless you're averaging 22-8-8 instead of your 16-7-7 with, even though you're in the Eastern Conference. So really, like that, those numbers are great. But as a rookie, I get why you're not going in. Kemba Walker's close, but I honestly know he didn't get in because of the same reason Andre Drummond didn't get in. And it's because when it came down to it, they had to base it on winning and the records, which I don't think is right, because if I would allow Kevin Love to be there based on the points alone compared to Andre Drummond's. But Al Horford, I could see being changed for. The way this team's playing, the Celtics, you can't tell me it's all because of Al Horford. With the numbers he's put up and the way that Andre Drummond has been playing, and is the reason that they're just one game below 500, if you ask me, leading the league in rebounds, excelling in multiple different aspects of the game than he did a year ago. I definitely think Andre Drummond, as far as the East goes, was sliding, especially with the big men you choose. I mean, yes, KP, I get it. He did that. He got himself an all-star bid by the first month, the way he was playing and what he was doing for that team.
KP6.
The guy who I feel was most slighted comes from the West, and I understand why. The West is just so stacked from position to position.
Especially at the guard position. It's not fair.
Especially at the guard position. But if there was a guy who got slighted, it was Lou Will. It was sweet Lou Will. And what he's been able to do this season, man, ridiculous. Lou Williams is averaging career best in points, in assists, from three-point range as well. 23.5 points a game, 5.1 assists, 41 from three. He's had 15 30-point games, including 50 that he dropped on the Warriors for their first win since 2014. His PER is ridiculous right now. And he's doing this off the bench.
He's Sixth man of the year, clearly. Sixth man of the year, clearly. I'm with you on this. Lou Williams should be there. I think what Chris Paul was able to do without James Harden in the lineup, though, I feel like he should have been in consideration. And same with Paul George. But they all play the guard position. And the only person I would replace of the guards would be Klay Thompson. Yeah. But, fan favorites are fan favorites, and you can't get over you can't get over the fact that people love the Warriors. They're the team that everyone loves. It's weird. We should hate them a lot, but we can't. We just love them.
For me, I think Paul George should have been in over Draymond. I mean, Draymond's not. He's actually down in statistics from a year from now, and I know what he means to the team, and I get that. Sometimes when it comes down to you look at the stats and then you look at the intangibles, and a lot of the times with a person like Draymond Green, the intangibles can overweigh what the statistics look like.
Well, I just think that there was a weaker front court that allowed Draymond to get in, as opposed to how strong the backcourt is. It's hard to replace Steph. You can't really replace Damian. You can't really replace Russell Westbrook. Yeah. It's definitely tough. But as we're wrapping up, I think that we can all understand that Chris Paul will dig that tunnel and he'll get there. He'll be at the All-Star game. Yeah. He might find his way into that locker room, as Tom made a good point. Yeah. I mean, he knows how to get places. He's got those tunnels, man.
I feel like they didn't give Chris. 9-time All-Star already. I feel like his numbers in the past, his numbers now, which are still great on the second best team in the NBA. That he could have been there, but I understand why they did it.
And we're at a weird point where fans don't just want to vote for the name, even though there are a bunch of fans that are like, no, I'm voting for the name. But when we also give players the chance to vote, they will vote for stupid people. I feel like Brian Scalabrine got a vote this year.
And honestly, myself, I would have put Lou Will in front of Chris Paul this year anyway, so...
All right. Well,
I understand that argument. But
alrighty. But so as we're about to finish up here in the next couple minutes, I did have a question for you going back to the Cavaliers thing, and if anyone wants to weigh in out there, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter. More likely, Isaiah Thomas gets traded by the trade deadline, or Ty Lue gets fired by the end of the season.
I'm personally going to go Ty Lue. I think it'll be Ty Lue, and I think it's based off the position that they don't believe they're going to have LeBron there next season. And yes, Ty Lue has done enough for that organization as an assistant before they fired David Blatt and brought him on, but Ty Lue is LeBron's guy. Okay. And if LeBron's not going to be there, and I'm going to end up starting over, the only real piece I have offensively is Isaiah Thomas.
All right. More likely to pay Isaiah Thomas the money next season.
Ooh, more likely to pay him the money?
Because I don't think Dan Gilbert would.
At a max contract, no, I don't think Dan Gilbert would either, but... Oof, where, I mean, the poor guy, he's been so many places. I
Want
would
to know
hope
who
it's
does
in the
it?
East.
Want to know who does it? Vlade Divac brings back Isaiah Thomas because what does he do? Terrible thing.
Nah. It would be
cool. It'd be nice to see him back with the Kings.
I'd like to see him go to the Magic.
Even funnier, Pistons.
That would be amazing.
And Isaiah Thomas back on the Pistons? I don't know.
All about that. Stan Van Gundy would love that too. That'd be wonderful. I could go with the Pistons.
All right. Well, I agree with you, Tom. I think that Dan Gilbert doesn't know how to pull the trigger very well, and we'll see Lou get fired because LeBron wants it more so than Isaiah gets traded.
He's so passive aggressive. Oh, I hope Lou doesn't get fired. Sure. Would you like to say that between the lines with your speech? If you gotta go, we gotta go. That's basically what I heard. Yeah. All right. Well, it's that time. Gosh, this is always the saddest moment for me.
Yeah. I wish we had more of it.
I did too. Get us some extra sponsors so we can have less jobs and be here with you guys longer. But speaking of that, we are looking at ways to get to you guys more times during the week, live videos, so on and so forth. So hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Maybe you guys would like half an hour to poll, ask us questions, and we can come back with you guys and really shoot the crap back and forth with. Whatever you guys have an idea, we love to see them and think about what we can do to make our show better and make you guys tune in more often than not. So get at us, SoundCloud, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, at 4th&20Sports, YouTube, all over the world, aka America, but it seems good. That's all we got, unfortunately, but we'll be back same time. You can hear us tomorrow on WBLZ at 7 p.m. I have been AJ.
And I'm Max.
Peace.